Now, according to the actual setup for the show, we were supposed to start about an hour ago, but I had no way of knowing the show was going to go until almost 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, even though it was earmarked for a 4-hour time window by Access. And
The mad lad.
good Lord. So I'll also shoot with you too, because you guys know that I'm gonna tell you the truth straight up. I basically watched most of the show while I was watching Bush, because that was the final Mardi Gras concert we had here at Universal tonight, and I got to watch Gavin Rossdale sweat like a crazy person and go through the crowd and drive this security bonkers. And Bush was a very awesome live performance. If you get a chance to see them live, take it. Oh my God, take it. And I also got to watch some really stellar New Japan Pro Wrestling on my iPhone. So let's talk about Strong Style Evolved. It was made I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. It was made the announcement, just like Uncle Dave did allude to recently, that the Cow Palace in San Francisco, the very world famous Cow Palace in San Francisco, home of so many great moments in professional wrestling history, is going to be the site of the next G1 special for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes, but this is where the very important little side note is.
All right.
The date is July 7th, which means it's going head-to-head with WWE and their Madison Square Garden house show with Ronda.
Wow.
And they're going head-to-head against UFC with the title-for-title sort of match between Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier.
I'm not gonna lie.
That weekend is going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah, to say the least.
I mean, thank God that bloody, Ronda Rousey thing isn't being live streamed. Unless they do that now, in which case, fuck.
Yeah. So we just finished the pay-per-view, and like I said, I was honest. I was watching Bush while I was watching the show. So it was literally, I was watching the show and watching Bush at the same time. So I'm proud of myself for multitasking because I'm good at it. So
well, I've just seen one person saying main event was all right, but I've seen better. Apparently the New Day versus the Usos from last year was better than what we just saw.
No.
So,
real quick, let's do this properly. Welcome to another edition of a wrestling podcast, exclusively here on the Popcast Network. We're talking New Japan Pro Wrestling tonight. My name is Owen. Joining me as always is Ashley.
Mm-hmm. That's what I need to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think it was going to go anywhere near for, yet alone 4-20. Oh, I should have seen that coming. The commentary wasn't too bad for most of the night, I'd say. Barnett still doesn't. I don't know whether he gels just with like general fans.
He doesn't fit. He has a contract with Access, correct?
That's why, exactly. That's why him and JR were doing it.
I mean, Jim Ross, from what I've heard tonight, what I got to hear a little bit, obviously, because I was watching without sound until we got past Ospreay and Liger. That's when I picked up actually watching it back here. But yeah, I mean, I was watching it without sound. so I wasn't able to hear the commentary, but I was able to catch the commentary for the remainder of the show. And Ross was actually on point. I mean, you can tell he does his homework, because I said this to somebody today, actually, when I was leaving work. I said, as a commentator myself, I can tell when someone knows what they're talking about and when someone is just like getting themselves through it. You can tell Jim Ross does do his homework. Josh Barnett just seems like he's going through the motions. I don't dislike Josh Barnett. I think that there's got to be something else he should be doing other than color commentary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really wish this would have been Don Callis and Kevin Kelly tonight, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Because they fit the New Japan's, oh my God, they fit the New Japan like product so well. Like they know it like the back of their hand. Kevin Kelly especially. Kevin Kelly he has completely morphed himself into one of the best commentators in the business because of his time working for Ring of Honor in New Japan. So it's just, I like hearing his commentary. I was not a big fan of him in the WWE, but when he moved over to Ring of Honor and subsequently went to New Japan, it was kind of like, wow, this guy really knows what he's doing. I mean, he's not Morrow or anything like that, or even, I know it's kind of a dead topic talking about him right now, but Joey Styles. But and it's funny because it's called Strong Style Evolved. But yeah, needless to say, I would think that he's fine. He's definitely put himself in the upper echelon of the top broadcasters in the business today. But Jim Ross still the GOAT. Even some say he's better than Soley. That's debatable. To be honest, he is the voice of this generation of professional wrestling. I mean, obviously, anybody that really thinks about a match who wants to hear it called by Jim Ross, obviously. And it doesn't matter what company it is, they want to hear Jim Ross do the call. And New Japan has him, so it's best to utilize him. Josh Barnett it seems like, well, he's already on a contract, can't really do anything with him, so we're just going to do it. I mean, it's one of those things, I guess. It's politics. That's just how it is sometimes.
Good old politics.
Oh, of course.
So the big thing broke right at the start that the Young Bucks versus Golden Lovers match was, instead of being a 30-minute time limit match, was going to be a 60. Which is significant because normally only title matches go 60 minutes. Not tag matches that mean nothing. In inverted commas, mean nothing.
It's, weirdly enough, actually, it's the fact that this match had so much writing on it that it absolutely had to. This is cliche in this business, but this was literally a dream partners tag match. Literally the two of the best tag teams in the world going at it. And it's not just like hyperbole. It was literally exactly that. And they delivered tenfold. And, I just noticed Jeff Cobb is tweeting about the New Japan Dojo. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Well, Shibata.
Of course. Who said, am I reading correctly? Read it recently that Shibata said he's not done?
In the little mini press conference that they did to hype it up, he said, I'm wrestling in the ring here and I'm training.
Yep.
So I personally don't see myself as retired.
No, I don't think anybody does.
One day I will come back.
I completely believe him, as everyone should.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, him and Scorpio Sky are going to be the ones that are going to mold the next wave of New Japan Pro Wrestling superstars. And that's a great thing, actually. Speaking of Scorpio Sky, let's talk about the opening match.
Actually, no, because there were a few apparently matches on
dark matches
on the dojo stuff yesterday. Dave Finlay and Juice Robinson beat Violence Unlimited. which is Tyler Bateman and Brody King. So, Brody had a pretty busy week considering PWG the night before. Scorpio Sky beat Rocky Romero in a singles match.
Nice.
And then Roppongi 3K beat Kushida and Uptown Andy Brown. For basically the equivalent of obviously Rocky Romero and Scorpio Sky are sort of veterans anyway.
Yeah.
And obviously the New Japan guys went over on, because it was Andy Brown that ate the pin for the final match. And obviously the LA guys lost to Finlay and Juice. But from what I've heard, entertaining stuff that was worth seeing either way for the people that managed to got to attend that dojo thing. I guess it sort of continued anyway into this, because obviously Daniels and Kazarian are not. I think this is their first, because they weren't part of Honor Rising, were they?
No, it was like they were the ambassadors of Honor for the show. Weirdly enough.
I can't remember whether they were on the Japan show, the year before. They may have been. The most important thing, though, Daniels came out in the Nazi uniform.
Because Daniels is the man. and anybody that doesn't know that Chris Daniels is the man needs to just recognize, because I remember when Daniels won the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship, I remember marking out literally on this show. And I remember going on camera and be like, yes, I'm wearing my Chris Daniels shirt. Yeah, I've got my action figure. I don't care. I'm so happy to see it. Now Daniels being a part of New Japan in this aspect, hey, I'm down with it.
So
good way to start off the show.
Yeah, solid 6-man. Nice
Deadly
spots that happened. Daniels with that Asai moonsault to the outside. The springboard cutter from Sky.
Well, I want to, before we get to that, I want to talk about the spot from Kaz when he went for the 180 guillotine leg drop, and he seemed like he missed. He slipped off the top and he just tweaked his knee, and he basically sold the rest of the match, because you could definitely tell he wasn't in the greatest of headspace when he landed, because he immediately tagged out and warmed the apron for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But still, he would manage to go with the finish of the match. So, kudos to Frankie Kazarian there.
Then we also had the springboard leg drop from Rocky.
Yep.
As well, which was nice. And then the tope con hilo from Scorpio.
Oh, yes.
But eventually, it was the 3K, I believe, on Sky.
Yep.
That decided the things.
Scorpio Sky eating the pin made complete sense to me, to be quite honest. There's no reason for Daniels or Kaz to eat the pin. And I've never seen the 3K before. If I have, I don't recall. It's just literally a flapjack flatliner combination. It's really interesting, to say the least. It's kind of like, I get the hand gesture and everything. It's kind of like Roppongi 3K is basically doing their own version of the 3D. And that's exactly what it is. Yeah. It worked. It was a good start of the show, actually. I enjoyed it. Because, like I said, I'm a Chris Daniels fan, obviously. And apparently Josh Barnett, this was in the comments I'm reading here. Apparently, didn't he say something like they need to get out of the ring after the match was over?
I'm trying to work out whether this is a done up Photoshop or anything. I've noticed that they seem to be pointing out that it's going to be possibly American Badass Taker on the WrestleMania poster.
Who's been saying that for a while on this network? Oh, that's right. We have.
Yeah, but
because I saw The Undertaker's last match. I haven't seen Biker Mark's last match.
Way.
Yeah, some cap says there was a commercial break that came back too soon. You could hear Barnett saying you need to get out of the ring. Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. Verification. Thank you, some caps. And welcome to the Popcast Network live chat.
Next up, tag match. With Finley and Juice versus Goto and God.
What in the...
Technically, because he's Booker.
Okay, first off, I think, am I starting to realize, I was watching the show, and number one, Goto gets busted open hard way in the mouth because I hate to say it, but I love Juice to death, and he's going to be the next never open weight champion. I almost guarantee it at this point. But Juice Robinson knows how to bust people open hard way. It's not his fault. It's just something that kind of happens. The stuff that happened with Kevin Owens and NXT and now Hiroki Goto. I'm like, okay. And I don't know why, but Juice has this really interesting propensity to be like bizarre. I like it. It fits really well. It goes back to his CJ Parker persona. It's kind of like
would CJ Parker try and bust open Goto's mouth?
I don't think he'd be dumb enough to do it, but Juice Robinson surely would. and Juice is great. I mean, I've been putting him over for the longest time. I think he's like long overdue to win something big like the G1 or the New Japan Cup. I mean, beating Goto actually makes sense. The fact that he's moving towards an eventual title shot and probably to win the title because it makes perfect sense. This is going to be a great year for Juice Robinson. I've been saying this for a while, and I think this year it's actually going to come true. But I was thinking that Juice would take the pin, would win again, like beat Gato in the end, because he's already beaten Goto, because it makes no sense for him to do it again. But Finlay gets the pin because, unbeknownst to us, Finlay's being set up for a U.S. title match with Jay White later on down the line, but we'll get to that later. Good stuff here. I really enjoyed this match for what it was. Good back and forth here. Finlay ran wild after the hot tag with the running European uppercuts in the corner, and then Goto ends up hitting the Ushigarashi. Juice makes a save just in the nick of time and hits a full Nelson bomb, and then he drops him with the left hand. Gotta love that Bob Cook style left hand. Hits a Pescado, and Finlay hits the Ace Crusher and gets the win. Yeah, it was short, straight, and to the point, and it worked exactly for what it was. And I'll say right now, Hiroki Goto looks like a young Kensuke Sasaki. I noticed that tonight, and it's like, yeah, he really does look like a young Kensuke Sasaki.
Good win for Finlay as well, pinning Gato.
Totally agreed.
He pinned the Booker.
It's always good to beat the Office. It really is.
So then came... I mean, you could say it's a squash match. You also couldn't, but who knows? Chuck Taylor and Toro buy my DVD, even though it's probably the wrong region, unless it's Region 0. Yano versus the Killer Elite Squad.
Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Cowboy James Storm Lance Archer.
He's just spraying like a fucking sprinkler.
Yeah, it's not beer, it's water everywhere. And it's like, everybody, you get water misted, you get water misted. And like, I don't really care anymore. You just get water misted too. I like the one guy in the front row that just begged for it. That was great. Yeah, this was pretty. It's been a lot longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, but I guess the idea is Yano doing his comedy spots while Chuck basically gets extra money for being beaten the crap out of.
Yeah, is
this the punishment for him fucking up Trent? PWG.
Yes. Some caps said this was a squash match, but the problem is squash matches don't go 10 minutes. That's the thing. An elongated squash. So Chucky T countered out of the heart attack. Nice spike DDT there. I like that. Hot tag to Yano. I was like, okay, fine. And the low blow is like, nope, he stops it. Archer knocks it to the outside. Archer goes to dive, but Yano takes him to the outside. So Chucky T gets a tope, and here comes Yano undoing the turnbuckle. So he works away with some strikes. Archer's like, ain't selling that. And the next thing you know, Yano takes him down with a hair pull takedown, gets knocked to the outside. Chucky T gets a sunset flip for a near fall, pile driver, and then everything just goes crazy. On the floor, Chucky T misses a moonsault, and choke slam, near fall, crucifix roll up from Chucky T gets a near fall, and Killer Bomb countered out. One more again. Chucky's like, one more flash to the shepherd, and done the party. Killer Bomb finishes them off, and Killer Elite Squad win because obviously they are headed towards a showdown with Los Ingobernables de Japan once Evil is ready to go with the IWGP tag titles on the line.
I mean, clearly it's got to be on Sunday.
Yeah.
Even though we haven't seen Evil.
Fair point. Evil. Fair point, Suncast. So the whole card was about almost 6 hours, 10 minutes. Sounds like about right for us. 10 minutes sounds right for a squash. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
And then things start to get storyline. So it's time for the Bullet Club is Fine match.
Yes.
Cody and Marty Skull versus the Gorillas of Fuck.
Yeah, that had to be a thing.
They weren't really fuck. The crowd just said fuck you, Cody, instead.
Yeah. See, this is funny because didn't the Bucks go on some sort of an interview recently and say that this was supposed to be Adam Cole's spot?
Probably.
Cody works so much better than Adam Cole here. Because the great thing about Cody, even though I'll shoot with you, Cody, and I have this from experience, Cody's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. I'm not gonna lie. Especially when it comes to wrestling. But Cody is such a dastardly evil person in the ring. This would not have worked with Adam Cole. He's too much of a baby face to the fans, obviously. But Cody is completely different, and he is just bringing old school villain mentality, and I love every second of it. And Cody is such a jerk. It's amazing.
Cody's just like, we're both in Bullet Club. There's going to be no match. The Bullet Club is friends. Bullet Club is fine. And Tanga Loa, I think it was, grabbed the mic and said, look, we're having this match whether we're friends or not. But if me and Tama were on a team, it certainly isn't Team Cody. And, of course, then Cody goes for the sort of cheap shots. And Marty's like, what are you doing? And then he's trying to too-sweet them, and they just turn on him. So it's weird that from everything that I've seen, it just seems weird that Marty would be Team Cody.
Yeah, it's really strange. I mean, I think it's also that the fact of the dyed silver hair now too makes him even more of a heelish persona. I think that may have been something to trigger him being on Cody's side. The thing is, we're literally getting the New Japan reversion of the dissolution of the NWO. That's exactly what's happening right now. And it works really well because
because Bullet Club is being such a fixture, I doubt they're going to get rid of it. That's the problem.
No, they're not. It's too much money.
Keep in mind as well, they very rarely get rid of stables in any Japanese wrestling, because look at them in Dragon Gate. The Jimmies, after like 4 or 5 years, axe their stuff. Admittedly, they axe it more than stuff, but in their place, there's always a stable which normally comprises a shit ton of people.
Yeah, I mean, look how many guys were in the NWO when it originally started. Like, everybody was in the NWO at some point.
No, I'm saying you've got like 7 or 8 people in Chaos, 7 or 8 people at the minute in the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
7 or 8, well, I guess 5 in LIJ.
Yeah.
Taguchi Japan seems to be God knows how many people.
There's about 65 guys in that stable, and it's always ever changing. Some Cap says he's the most over villain I've ever seen. It's probably why he's on Cody's team. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Can't wait for 2 weeks' time now.
Ooh, One Triple S said Young Bucks and Golden Lovers have killed Revival and DIY. Abso-freaking-lutely.
I mean, well, I'm trying to work out what they've killed. All WWE Tag Team Wrestling, yes.
Yeah.
Bar possibly, if we're going back in the day, probably TLC matches.
The series between Anderson and Blanchard against the Hart Foundation was always good. The Hart Foundation matches against the Killer Bees were good. The stuff they did with the Rockers were good, where they did the Phantom title switch with the rope breaking. There's been some great WWE tag matches. It's been a minute because they don't really get a chance. The Usos and the New Day, to be quite honest, when it comes to stuff like recent. Who's the leader of Chaos? Because right now they're winning a lot of titles. Says Hyro. Who's the leader of Chaos right now, Ashley?
Okada.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, it is definitely.
Who was this?
No, he's the leader of everything.
If we're talking behind the scenes, it's Gato because
Well, yeah, of course.
He's the guy that's sort of like you get in, you get out. In Booker terms, and then half the time in storyline terms.
As of this moment, there are technically 16 members of Chaos, even though a lot of them are part-time.
I'm trying to think, we got Ishii, Goto. I guess Roppongi's technically Chaos.
Yes, correct. I have them in front of me, so here we go.
Chucky T, Trent,
Yep.
Ospreay.
Yep.
I guess Kushida.
Yeah.
Or is he not non-affiliated?
No, he is not affiliated.
Because most of them will just be, I mean, Yado and Gato as well.
Yep, correct.
But the rest of them would just be part-timers.
Well, the only one that's not considered a part-timer would be Jay White.
Yeah, but my God, that guy is on tweener status.
Yeah, no lie. Good God. and I did not freaking realize until today, thank you social media, how much it looks like Jay White looks like basically what happens when John Cusack goes on Baron Corbin roids and keeps the pants.
I noticed that Total Biscuit noted all his early promo work.
Right.
Stills just look like him eating an invisible burger.
He's not the most comfortable on the mic, but it'll get there. He's very ominous. I like his character though. Oh, nice. Thank you, Hyro. I appreciate that. Wasn't Shinsuke the leader before as well, Ashley?
Before Okada sort of overthrew, was just like champion all the fucking time. I guess. He was certainly Chaos for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said this to me, like we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but I mean, you said this to me, and I think I agree. I was standing in the yard getting ready to watch Bush tonight, and sure enough, you told me you were more excited for this show than WrestleMania, and I was like, yeah, I feel you completely there because it's just like this year is like with everything that's been going on lately, like all the stuff that's going on with the wrestling business anyway, and stuff going on with me personally, with all the running and going to the gym and everything. I just don't follow WWE like I probably should. I cared more about this show than I'm going to care about tomorrow and Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Just because. Some Cap says, do you think they pushed him too soon? No, I think think he's fine. He had kind of a blah match with Adam Page tonight, but I mean, we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I understand his persona. Like, obviously, when they set this up, it looked like it might have been Sami Callihan instead, which he proved that he definitely can. He doesn't need that in order to be able to stay relevant in the wrestling business. So yeah, kudos to him, which I'll see him in a couple weeks anyway. I think right now that Jay White was pushed at the right time. I don't know if he's got his niche yet. Really.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to work into it, because right now it's not clicking, but that doesn't mean it's not going to. So let's get to the tag match here.
Oh wow. It was just really good back and forth stuff. And then interestingly as well, thanks to distractions and everything, it was Cody that actually got the win, which I think was an interesting little twist.
Yeah, seeing Cody and Marty win this make me think that they're gonna push them potentially as a semi-regular team. Because say what you want about the Guerrillas of Destiny, they are the tag team, the main tag team. They were the main tag team of the Bullet Club, because they were the only ones in the heavyweight division until the announcement was made about the Bucks. But I mean, Marty and Cody's a team. If they're going to be like flat out evil, I actually like this greatly. I think this is going to work quite well.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Certainly the crowd was mega heated on Cody.
Totally right.
The big point.
Some Cap said it best. Cody needs to be hot going into the match with Kenny. Yeah, absolutely he does.
And I'm really intrigued where that match is going to go. Because part of me is feeling they're booking this as if Cody's winning.
It's a possibility.
For some reason. Hopefully they time it purposefully now that by the time NXT goes off the air in 2 weeks, that's when the Ring of Honor match starts.
That would be nice. I'd appreciate that. One Triple S says, I'm confused. When was the match with no disqualification? Like, what the F table? It was great, though.
They're always very lenient.
Extremely
lenient. Never really any DQs.
Yeah. Toru Yano's literal finish is a low blow and a roll up most of the time.
Or something to do with an unexposed turnbuckle.
Yeah. Also correct.
So then we get to insert team name here versus LIJ. So it's Tanahashi, Kushida, Captain Taguchi, and Dragon Lee versus Naito, Sanada, Bushi, and Daryl's dad.
Well, you're not wrong. This is a serious Naito tonight, too.
Well, the fact as well that it started with Tanner and Naito. Sort of like immediately, it was like, I mean, okay, Sanada sort of did get involved as well, but the fact that it was like, yeah, we'll lead off with these two. Fair play. Dragon Lee and Hiromu were just being them. Arguably. Just really sort of good back and forth stuff, and eventually, basically, Taguchi was on his own after the other ones had sort of brawled away into various different points around the ring. And super kick to Destino, I think it was.
Yeah.
Super kick from Hiromu.
Yeah, Destino and Taguchi, and that's the end. They went about 12 and a half minutes. It was solid for what it was. I liked it. I mean, I'm telling you, Naito not beating Okada was very surprising, and it doesn't make me think that Naito's done with the IWGP Championship either. Got to build him back up yet again. And one Triple S says, "I love how Taguchi always likes to pay tribute to Shinsuke. He does miss him in New Japan." The match with AJ, provided AJ is able to be at least 45 to 60% of what he normally is, will be the closest thing you're going to see to that Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania. You're not going to see, I mean, you really haven't seen that Nakamura in WWE yet. There's a couple like flashes here, like the match with Sami Zayn in NXT and the matches with Kevin Owens. I love the fact that he changed his name to Kevin Steen and they're basically jumping over the barricade now. That's great, by the way. Great storytelling, WWE. I love it.
What Sammy's changed his name to?
No, it doesn't say I like Sami Zayn, which is literally Sami Zayn. And they basically, like, they did a house show over the weekend, and Zayn and Steen jumped the barricade and just, like, did a run-in and jumped AJ, and then Nakamura made the save. So I thought that was really cool that they're continuing that. It looks like they're going to end up on Raw. So yay, because Owen doesn't watch SmackDown. So yes, Owens and Zayn on Raw. Make that happen. Pyro says they should have flashback with Kenny beating AJ, bringing back memories with AJ in New Japan. Yeah, I mean, again, AJ, one of the best in the world, but still, like, his New Japan stuff, I still would put it above a lot of the stuff he's done in America, that's for sure. Do I think Sammy's going to wear the mask again, some caps? It's possible. I think we might see the Generico mask, or at least a version of it in WWE. It's possible. Maybe for just a promo, but then again, I thought they were gonna do that with the match they were setting up with Owens and Zayn, and they made him a tag team, so Generico lives. So who knows? We could see it. It's possible.
So then, an interesting development. Rey Mysterio shows up.
Yeah, he's setting up his return to New Japan when he's back from his injury.
You've heard what the actual details might be about that?
Are we talking about him going back to the WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's sooner rather than later at this point.
So basically, some people are saying the reason why he isn't working is because WWE is obviously paying more.
Yeah.
For, I guess, his one-off appearance at whatever show.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's Mania, I don't know. But they obviously want him in good health. But it doesn't look like it's going to be just that. It's going to spin off possibly for the July show, which leaves it open. So yeah, Ray apologized for being hurt and promised to wrestle in New Japan when healthy. So, I mean, the interesting twist would be put him in Best of the Super Juniors. I mean, he ain't 5-star wrestling anymore. He's suddenly got a free schedule.
It's not a bad idea, to be quite honest, because you wouldn't expect that. It's like Mysterio has been a world champion, obviously, but here's the thing. You really think about it, this part of his career, this would be a really good time to put over some young guns, to really, like, pass the buck to the next generation of Super Juniors. And I think that's exactly the right direction we need to go with it. Speaking of that,
Liger and Ospreay.
This match is really good. I really like this match a lot.
Well, yeah, because the thing that helped is Ospreay worked at Liger's pace.
Yeah, and that made the match gel really well.
And it showed that Liger can still do crazy shit at 53.
Yes, he definitely can. I love so much stuff here they did in this match. They basically went back and forth. They knew each other like the back of their hand. One of the cool spots here, Ospreay, like, we're talking about, like, there's people just, like, injuring their legs and knees and ankles left and right, because when Liger hit the Super Frankensteiner and Ospreay landed on to try to, like, catch himself to, like, basically get out of it, he looked like he tweaked his ankles, jammed him into the mat, something fierce. because he sold for quite a bit after that until he got his bearings. Great stuff. Ospreay ends up trying to mock Mysterio with a 619 attempt. Liger hits the capo kick. Ospreay hits a C4, gets a near fall off of that. And Liger ends up... I like when Liger hit the brainbuster on the floor. That was great. He hit the avalanche brainbuster for a near fall, and he's got to wonder what he's going to have to do to put Ospreay away. And then Showtime connects. Nice near fall again, and he goes for it again. He gets release power bombed. Ospreay lays the kicks in, hits the Oz cutter, and gets the win out of nowhere. So yeah, almost went 11 minutes, and it was a solid back and forth match. I did like the fact Ospreay tried to get the win with a Liger bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff here. Liger really brought it tonight, to say the least. Yeah, this was better than Liger's match with Tyler Breeze in NXT.
Well,
I agree. One Triple S.
WWE.
Yeah, and some caps about when he got brainbustered on the concrete, he basically sold like he was dead, and it was amazing.
So
but I love the fact.
So I like that.
I love when he ran in and beat the 20 count too. I thought that was great. I was like, let's just ever dive in. And
that was 19 and 11 tenths. That was clearly 20.
So good. So good.
Afterwards, Ospreay did a promo thanking Liger and even challenging Ray to a future match, saying that he needs to beat Legends to create his own legacy.
That What Culture Pro Wrestling World Cup thing? It's already happened.
But then, all of a sudden, Marty Scurll shows up to attack him.
Of course.
Ray tries to make the save, but then Scurll takes Mysterio's mask.
And tries to wear it. That was great, too.
Liger goes after Marty, gets the mask, gives Ray his mask back, and they did poses and celebrations and things.
What about we do a tag match down the line with Liger and Mysterio against Marty and Cody?
Maybe.
Potentially. I mean, it's or maybe Ospreay obviously coming back and teaming with Liger to that makes sense too. Or maybe like a six man. Don't know who else is with Cody at this point. Yeah, it's gotta be Paige, Marty, and Cody against Ospreay, Liger, and Mysterio. Yeah, New Japan, you're welcome. I just booked you a really solid match that makes good sense after tonight. Some cap said I like it when Marty got some heat for the attack on Ospreay and Ray. Well, the Marty Scurll Will Ospreay feud is never going to end, and I don't have a problem with that. So as long as we get this continuation and the fact that this could end up to another title match down the line, I'm okay with that.
So then we get the triple main event of sorts.
Yeah.
So it's Suzuki and Sabre Jr. versus Ishii and Okada. The thing I can take possibly from here is well, considering what happened, I'm guessing it isn't going to be Suzuki versus Ishii next week.
Nope.
I just found it odd that after all the build that they did with Naito and Suzuki, they just like dropped it as just a dead thing that doesn't matter.
Yeah, especially with doing this with Okada tonight.
Well, they've had a history anyway, especially because of that big match, 13 months ago.
Very true.
But obviously you haven't been able to react to this, and obviously I sort of did in the preview video that I did a couple of days back. Sabre Jr. beat Naito, Tanahashi, Sanada, and Ibushi, not in that order, to win the cup in order to be able to challenge Okada next week or next weekend. I mean, holy shit.
This is true.
I mean, that was enough of a. And then, as I also noted in the video, the fact that Zack Sabre Jr. is quoting Brian Eno in his press conferences. It's like, okay. And again, they played on the fact that they keep saying over and over and over, Sabre will make you tap out. And he won with the let's get the name right, orienteering with Napalm Death. On Ishii. But it was going to be a stiff one, considering you've got the King of British Strong Style, at least as it stands. And Suzuki, who, I think is just strong style in general.
Yeah, of course.
Versus Workhorse and John Cena-esque Okada. And I'll beat the shit out of you, Ishii. So I'm surprised that they sort of went as stiff as they did for an American show. I'm guessing whether the State Athletic Commission even does wrestling, they might be going, yeah, we're not happy with this.
Yeah, this might not be a good thing to have, and it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Matt, you want to talk about a violent, brutal match? This is definitely what you were looking for on the show, and it ended with a double submission.
Basically, yeah. I mean, the one that counted was Ishii,
right?
And because it was just Suzuki holding down Okada in the corner, I think. So it was sort of like, to some extent, Suzuki beating Okada.
Yeah, he basically choked him out,
but not exactly. But then afterwards, Sabre took out Okada with an octopus hold. So what we've established is Okada's winning.
I mean, it's pretty obvious, to be quite honest. I mean, there's definitely something I could say right now, but again, I'm not going to say it live. So, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking, to be quite honest about it.
Two motherfuckers.
For sake of this argument, yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. So
then we get our only title match.
I was not a major fan of this match overall.
Jay White defending the IWGP United States title against Hangman Page.
So real quick, and from chat, we got a comment here. So some cap says commentary is pushing Sabre and Okada pretty hard. Yeah, got to build it, obviously, especially if it's going to be a big deal. One Triple S says it doesn't make sense for Suzuki not to go after the top title and have one of his followers after it as well. Yeah, obviously try to keep it in the family. And Hyro says, didn't really like Tana versus Zach. The match was really slow, and I don't like that much technical wrestling. Interesting.
Yeah, but you're always going to get that with a Zack Sabre Jr. match.
Yes, you are.
You had that with Naito. You had it with arguably the match of the tournament, which was Ibushi.
Right.
And you had it with Sanada. That's Zack Sabre's style. He's British wrestling, so it's going to be technical.
I referred to him as the British Dragon many, many moons ago, and I'm going to stick with that.
Is he actually William Regal's secret son?
Oh.
Sorry, Zack Sabre Sr.
Oh, wow.
But he's that versed in Japanese style wrestling. Like Regal was. It just seems like, yeah.
Like I said,
what I feel that hurt this match was just it didn't feel like it was two proper villains.
As much as I hate to say it, it reminds me of the Ring of Honor title match that's on Wrestle Kingdom. It just feels out of place. It feels somewhat out of place.
But it's just like, am I supposed to cheer for Jay White even though he's clearly a baddie? Or am I supposed to cheer for Paige even though he's clearly a baddie?
I'm gonna give severe heat to Josh Barnett in this match for referring to an avalanche swing neckbreaker as a cutter. There's the first one. I had issues with that one for good reason.
Counter.
And the Saito suplex, which was great, but nope, not called that. So sorry. Yeah, this match was fine, as it is. I like the finish better than I like anything else on it. Such a great way to get out of the Blade Runner. It's like, I'm just going to spit right in your face. But yeah, good stuff here. Both Jim Ross and Josh Barnett fighting over the shooting star shoulder tackle, trying to figure out exactly what it was at the same time. That was fun. Buckshot lariat for a really good near fall. Rite of passage is countered out in a roll up for a near fall. Jay White hits the Tiger Suplex 85. Kiwi Crusher. Paige is like, I'm going to somewhat kick out, but not quite, but still enough to say it. Blade Runner, like I said, spit in the face. Paige hits a super kick, rolling elbow, sets up Rite of Passage, and it float over into the Blade Runner and gets the win. You knew Jay White was not going to lose this match, but they made it.
That's the other thing as well. It was just like, this is clearly a placeholder.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely.
And not in a good way.
No. We got to get better matches for Jay White. Hasn't really had a breakout match since he's been U.S. champion. So, they really need to give him
back.
Yeah, they need to give him something else.
The match with Tanner was just, the match with, the match with Tanner was okay.
Yeah, that's being kind. Yes,
Omega
agreed.
Might have been probably the best.
Yeah, of course.
But that and obviously the one tonight have been his only 3 singles matches that I'm aware of. And yeah, it's just like, and the fact as well that the US title is now not going to be on the card next week. It's just seriously like, it's just there when you feel like it, guys, isn't it?
This is true.
Because then afterwards, Dave Finlay attacked Jay White, which has been teased anyway over the past few weeks and months. And he's challenging April 24th at the God knows how many Korakuen Hall shows. I've looked at it. We've got Sakura Genesis next weekend, WrestleMania and all the crazy shit around that the following weekend. The weekend after that, 2 shows at Korakuen Hall. And then the week after that, another 2 shows at Korakuen Hall. And then the week after that, the Fukuoka shows, I think. Or the Wrestling Don Taku ones. So, Jesus. And then the Bucks versus the Golden Lovers.
Good Lord. Before we get started, gotta sew up chat here. Hyro says, "Can't believe Evil wasn't here. I just wanted him to be ringside." Maybe he can't travel.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's my guess, because that's usually what happens when someone gets hurt. You're not allowed to get on an airplane, so that makes sense. One Triple S says, glad Josh Barnett's doing quality stuff in his role with Impact. Yeah, but he's still not a good commentator, and they need to do something else with him. Hyro says, I just wish David Finlay ended his promo with, my name is Finlay and I love to fight.
No. He's not Dave.
No, he's Trevor Lee. That's who he is. Good Lord, I just realized it tonight. He's Trevor Lee. That's exactly who David Finlay is. Me and my half asleep ideas I have. It's like, hey, he looks like that guy, and it's like some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. I guess it's 1 a.m. We need to talk about this main event. Oh my god.
I don't even know what to say.
It's an amazing match. You need to watch it. I would love to call this match, and I was calling spots and everything. That was fun. But I mean, it's just watch this match. This is what tag team wrestling should be in 2018. And sadly is not, because too many companies do not. Okay, not too many companies. WWE does not know how to book tag team wrestling. They have some great stellar tag teams. They do not know how to book tag team wrestling. New Japan and Ring of Honor know how to book tag team wrestling. The Indies know how to book tag team wrestling. This was a showcase of 4 guys that know how to work, know how to sell, know how to entertain, and know how to wow a crowd. And that's what this match was. And every second of it was worthwhile. And of course, as always, Matt Jackson gets the Sell of the Night award because, good Lord, he got literally killed. So much good stuff here. Like everything was everything you'd expect from this match actually happened. And they set up the table on the outside, bridged across the barricade, and oh my god. They teased the one-winged angel. It was like, nope. And they ended up doing the flying elbow through the table too, which was great, by the way.
All sorts of spots.
So many great things in this match. Meltzer driver was set up later on in the match. Matt's like, nope, my back's done, so I can't do anything. And then Nick gets powerbombed to the table by Ibushi on the outside. Matt kicks out of the Indie Taker, which was great. I like that too. That proved that they know each other so well. Omega breaks out the old Dr. Death Steve Williams Dr. Bomb for a near fall. Matt's like, Nick's out of it. So he's like basically fighting himself. And I love this. The great thing about this match was the emotion that these 4 showed, especially with the battles with what was going on with Kenny fighting Matt and Nick and just not wanting to do anything. I like how he sets up the one-winged angel and he's like, no, I can't do it. And Matt goes, do it anyway. And next thing you know, it's like, okay, fine, I'm gonna drop you on your neck. And that is what happened. And I was like, oh my god, Nick makes a save right in the nick of time. Matt's like dead to the world. And then Nick's like, okay, fine. So he starts forearming left and right. He's trying to fight the Golden Lovers by himself. V-trigger, he's done. Snapdragon suplex from Kota Ibushi, and then Omega drops the knee pad. Bang, bang, it's time. Golden trigger, and that's the end. They went in about 38 minutes, and then became the interesting stuff that happened afterwards.
Yeah. So the Golden Lovers left. Well, actually, Omega sort of cradled Matt's head sort of in his hands and everything.
Yeah, he was showing so much he's like, I had to do this. It's like, I'm sorry it came down to this, but I had to do it.
They left, and then Cody came in with Matt going, what are you doing? You're better than this. You're the best team in the world. How did you lose? And Nick isn't happy. And Nick gets shoved down in Cody's face. Or Cody shoves him in the face, sorry. Golden Lovers come back and make the save. Cody obviously runs off. Omega shakes hands with Nick, and then goes to. Well, they shook hands and then they hugged, but then goes to Matt, and Matt just rolled out the ring. He's still a bit unsure, I guess, because of what just happened.
I think that once again, even though we know where this is headed, I think being the Elite moving forward is going to be real interesting. Even more so than we've had lately.
Just in the next 2 weeks before Mania alone.
Oh, totally.
And
you look in Matt and Nick's eyes. They were crying. They were like, why Kenny? Why? I mean, this was amazing storytelling.
And then
and I know the Elite's booking their own angles, so I mean, my God, they know what they're doing.
Pretty much.
Some Cap said at one point, I must have missed this because I was just trying to fixate on the match. Jim Ross said golden showers instead of golden lovers.
Awkward. And then Omega's promo afterwards.
Oh, saying, so good.
I'm not the same Kenny that you saw the last time. Sure, there were casualties in war. I'm upset that dissension within the Elite is one of those casualties. But there's always a silver lining. And that's the Golden Lovers are back. And being no doubt, we're going to be back when New Japan's back in July. And he'll beat up Cody when they return in a bigger and better building. So, sorry, Walter Pyramid. Cow Palace is better.
It's the Cow Palace. Of course it is.
He may have a broken orbital bone. Kota's got a busted lip. But good luck, goodbye, and good night. Bang! Bang, bang, bang. And all that.
So good. And the show faded to black, and we went live.
Yeah, no sign of Papa Dave on New Japan World, even though they said he was going to be.
I'm kind of surprised. I did notice someone posted a message in one of the groups about Dave wearing that swank green scarf.
It was a jumper.
It looked cool.
If you look at the way it looks, it's a jumper.
I just glanced.
He had it tied round his back, sort of like superhero-esque, with the arms round his neck. Nothing else.
Deservingly so. Hashtag NJSSE is one of the #1 trends in the US right now.
The fact of the matter is, it's trending sort of in or around Stormy Daniels, which apparently also happened tonight. You know, the CBS thing about her allegations with Monsieur Trump. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that it was Ultra. You know, the dance music festival thing. They broadcast live on Tay Internet.
Cow Palace holds almost 13,000 people.
Return of Swedish House Mafia. And they're running last weekend in March next year. They've already announced.
Huh.
Dear God.
So
don't know where that is.
Some Cap says Cow Palace holds like 15K or so. Yeah, it's
14,000, I think, is the seated capacity.
Correct.
Or, you know, wrestling show capacity. For a good, solid show that they want to sell out crazily. Question is how quick the tickets will go for that one. We shall have to see. Another brief bits of news, because we might as well mention them here. Keith Lee is your new PWG World Champion.
Yep, saw that happen. Not surprised either.
I'm a bit surprised that Chuck didn't get to run with the belt more. But then again, they shouldn't have turned him heel.
Nope.
So be it. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams won the gauntlet for the gold in AIW, which was pretty sweet. I think I don't even know what happened in Progress, even though that was like today. I should probably check because that's arguably the most important thing, because that's the last show before they head into the New Orleans shows, which I'm guessing hopefully we're watching. I know I'm starting to get more friends into actually watching the indie wrestling stuff, so I'm covered anyway. So I've got other parties to watch it with if I have to. Because I'm trying to see all the films that I can, so that weekend is just me sitting on the computer for 12 hours, or as much as possible, taking out real life events. Okay, so there's WXW results, but no Progress. Okay. Is it on there? No, not that. Just seeing what happened on the WXW show. Oh, they're doing a show in January 2019 again. That should be pretty good.
All right. I think that actually might be our show then.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely worth watching. Definitely check out. I mean, really, you can't go wrong with the main event for sure.
Okay.
I think I'd recommend about anything on this show tonight. Some more so than others. Like if you skip the Killer Elite Squad squash and even LIJ at Taguchi Japan it's kind of there. I mean, and you just watch like the rest of the show. I mean, it's worth watching.
Charlie Morgan won the women's four-way.
So much tag.
Beat TK Cooper. Okay.
So much great tag wrestling on the show.
Grizzled young vets of Gibson and Drake defended the tag belts. Oh, wow. Okay. Flash Morgan Webster became the champion, but the other ref overruled it. And then straight after the restart, Banks retains with a roll-up. Wow. Oh, and then interestingly, Travis Banks declared himself unbeatable. So are they actually turning him heel? Maybe. Except guess who might be challenging him at New Orleans? Big Daddy Volta.
All right.
So Volta might be a dual. Well, he might have like 54 titles after everything that goes down in 2 weeks.
Some caps talking about Omega saying he broke his orbital bone in the Golden Lovers Bucks match tonight. Yeah, that's what he said during the promo. Hi-Ray says Bullet Club needs to win some titles. They were on top in 2015, but now they're dying.
To be honest, I think they're not in the title picture for a purpose.
Not right now.
Which is they're going to the E soon. And I think they're leaving it open. You know, I think they prefer to just tell a storyline that they can do themselves rather than faffing about with tag titles of any kind. Because you notice, apart from the 6-man tags, they're not in the tag title contention at the minute in Ring of Honor.
No.
They're not in tag title contention for PWG. Then again, there haven't been that many tag matches anyway over the past few months. Not in Japan. Not, you know, I don't. They could be in Ring of Honor, but that gets enough of a sort of vicious cycle anyway. I think they're happy enough. I mean, to be honest as well, they're probably getting all the money from all these bookings that they're doing just one-off shows for.
Right.
They can save money to put a ridiculous all-in on.
Yeah.
So if they're busy with that, so be it.
True. All right. I think that's our show. Once again, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And we will talk New Japan Pro Wrestling again in the very near future. So stay tuned for that. Wrestling fans, join us tomorrow for Raw, and Wednesday show should be up for grabs. We'll see what happens with that. Other segments on this network, if you haven't checked them out yet, we had our Bond retrospective with AJ and his brother Chris. That's out on the network. We have some AJ's movie reviews, a bunch of sipping snacks. I got to do some voodoo donuts, so that's taken care of. And a lot of great stuff coming on this network. So stay tuned. Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter at Ash is my name UK, and I still need to film it because I'm knackered. I've basically been up for about 18 hours. The retrospective, post-mortem, whatever you want to call it, on 5 Star should be coming to you by the end of tomorrow.
Oh, cool. So
we need to discuss the 5 weeks that show had and what came out of it.
Okay. That's coming. So, again, follow the network at Popcast Network. Check out our Facebook fan page at Popcast Network. Follow me on Twitter at Siro and Disney. And that's going to be your show. I want to thank everyone for joining us live or in archive tonight. And we'll be back again with more wrestling content here on the network sooner rather than later. And as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more tonight you have chosen a podcast. Well, thank everyone for watching. Thank everyone for listening. I'm going to go run 6 miles tomorrow. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
Has anybody seen this dog?